7 p.m. and we're going to start right on time. I think everybody knows who I am, but I'll just introduce myself again. I'm Ken Siver, your mayor for the last 11 years, and it's been a pleasure to serve in this capacity. So we've had a great year in the city of Southfield. A lot of very positive things have happened, and as I've been mentioning to several people as I was putting this presentation together, it just kept dawning on me that we're doing, all this crazy stuff is going on in the world, and yet in Southfield we're doing normal. Our head is down, we're doing business, we're taking care of our residents, we're taking care of our businesses, we're taking care of our infrastructure for what money we have. There's never enough, but so anyhow, we've had an incredibly, very, very good year in Southfield with a lot of progress. So I'm going to get right into it. We have a number of corporate sponsors, so we're very grateful for these folks who are part of our business community and supporting the city and supporting this production. So my presentation tonight is focusing on people, policy, projects, partnerships, progress, and placemaking. And so we'll move right into it, starting with people. Want to introduce, most of our council is here tonight, starting with our council president, Charles Hicks. Our council president pro tem, Coretta Hogue, Councilman Ari Mandelbaum, and Councilwoman Yolanda Haynes. And our council is a very hard-working group. We just finished on Monday night adopting the budget for the next year, calendar year or fiscal year, 26-27. That's a real workout, as you can see in this photo. Our council has subcommittees. Our council that they attend every month, as well as events, city events, and so they keep a pretty busy schedule along with our city staff. And then I want to introduce our city clerk, Gabi Grossbart. I don't see our treasurer, Irv Lowenberg, but at any rate, our city administrator is at the Parks and Rec board meeting tonight, so he's not with us, but our deputy city administrator is here, John McRena, who is out in the hall, but it was sitting here. Anyhow, John is with us. So these are our department heads. I won't read all the names, but these are the people that make things go. As I always tell people, by city charter, the mayor is the spokesperson for the city, but certainly the mayor doesn't do all of this. And it's a team effort between the council, the administration, and the various city staff members. So everybody has a part, and so I want to share what's going on. I talked a little bit about things being a little crazy in the world, and so one of the things that we're very proud of in Southfield is that we are a welcoming community. We welcome all people, refugees, immigrants, and people of diverse faiths, religions, race, creed, and we all get along. And you can applaud that. And I think we're a model in that regard. So Because of some of the, particularly some of the anti-Semitism and some of the other things that have happened this spring, the council and I did just a renewal of our pledge that we are a welcoming city, and that we want everyone to be comfortable and enjoy living in Southfield. So, one of the things that we engage our community in is our police department's Citizens Police Academy, and this is a 9-week program. If you haven't enjoyed this experience, I encourage you, once a year they'll announce it and you can sign up. It is really kind of changes people's perspective on policing. One thing I can say about our excellent police department is that they are people-centered and do an awful lot of outreach as community policing. And I remind people that police officers are people. They're human beings. They have a task of keeping us safe, but they're not authoritarian figures. And I know that many of you have had positive interactions with our police department. And again, as part of community policing, our police department does everything from bicycle safety, gun lock distribution, distributing books in a bag, and of course our trunk or treat. This is your mayor on Halloween with. I had the funniest experience with these kids. You know, they're all little, and they're generations away from me. But every kid wanted a piece of candy. I said, well, you got to give me a peace sign, you know, peace out. A lot of these kids didn't know what I was talking about. Peace out. And then, of course, our Martin Luther King Peace Walk, and our one of the things the police department does is shop with a cop for needy families, but a whole litany of things. And I think that's very important, and it's a hallmark of our police department. Our chief is very good also about, as you know, our police officers put their lives on the line. And actually all of our first responders. So, and unfortunately, our biggest crime, the number one police run in the city is domestic violence, and that can be a very dangerous situation because emotions are high, and you know, you're going into really a combative situation that you're trying to de-escalate. And that's one of the things that our police department is excellent at, is de-escalation. Years ago, and I'm a resident of 59 years in Southfield, so years ago it was all about how fast an officer could run, how many bench presses he could do. It was all about brawn. And now it's more about mental muscle, about how do you de-escalate and keep things from getting out of hand. Anyhow, our police department does make sure that they're appreciated by the leadership. Our city council and our administration is committed to making sure that our police department and our fire department, that they're well trained and that they have equipment that works. And it's staggering to me, and this is where your tax dollars go. But we just bought a new fire truck. It took 3 years to wait for it to be delivered. And in that, it cost $1.8 million for a new ladder truck. They're sort of a monopoly on who produces fire trucks. So anyhow, we have to have it. In this case, it's the Solaire Apartments on Providence Drive. There's a kitchen fire on the 5th floor. Having that fireman outside right at the scene of the fire on a ladder, of course, helps bring the fire under control very quickly. One of the cool things that we've had this program for a couple of years, and I've been meaning to highlight it. We have a cadet program for the fire department, and it's a course at Southfield A&T High School. And when these students finish the course, they are just about ready to be employed. And we're looking at this as an opportunity to employ our kids that live in this community with a good career in firefighting and being an EMT. So moving on to policy, this year we've done a couple of things. You know, we have to face the fact that our housing stock, we were a boom city. Our city had many of the neighborhoods were built in the 50s and the 60s. And so our housing is older, and we want to make sure that we maintain our neighborhoods. And so the City Council has approved a point of sale ordinance that homes have to be inspected when they turn over. And this is to maintain, again, quality housing. Secondly, you know, we've been very concerned about the use of, and another incident in Birmingham, perhaps you saw in the news, people renting a backyard pool, it gets out of hand. So we have an ordinance that is addressing Airbnbs, and it's really about the temporary rental. If you have a rental, it has to be inspected and it has to be registered with the city. And if it isn't, then we're going to see you in court. But we're going to make sure that these homes that are or homeowners that are engaging in short-term rentals comply and are registered. Other policy, perhaps you've driven around Southfield and seen these donation boxes. Really, we felt it was getting out of hand. And so they were, and some of the property owners were telling us, well, they just appeared, but they didn't ask us. All of a sudden, this is in our parking lot. So we passed an ordinance to regulate these. You can have them, but you have to have the property owner's permission. It isn't that logical. And secondly, that they have to be registered so that you know that if you are donating this way, that it's legit. Next, you know, the world has changed, and as a community, so many of the things that happen are not our doing. They happen to us. So obviously COVID was not something that we did, but we have to react to it. And so it changed how people work, more working from home. We're concerned about having an overabundance now of office space. We don't like empty buildings. And so, and the same thing with retail, with online shopping, we've had to adjust. And so we have broadened, with council's review and approval, we've adjusted the uses that, or broadened the uses that can be in offices as well as in retail spaces. I'm going to talk a little more about this as we go along, because one of the things that we're very big on is adaptive reuse. We can't tear everything down. Things are built for one purpose. Times change, needs change, technology changes, so we find new uses. Moving on to city projects. For over 20 years, people in Southfield, and there are a lot of dogs in Southfield. If you walk through the neighborhood, you know. And by popular request, we now have a dog park at Lasher Woods, which was kind of an underutilized park. We have a large run and a small dog run. Dogs have to have a license, and they have to have their shots, and owners have to go through a little a video orientation, and then there's a fee to use this because somebody has to maintain this property. And there is a porta potty there, and there is water there. So it's a modest fee, and you get a fob, and you can bring your dog there. So again, that's at Lasher Woods. As many of you know, our swimming pool died a couple of years ago. It was built in the early 70s. It had its life. They don't make the parts for the pool any longer, and plus the pool technology has changed, including how water is heated and recycled. So this is the rendering of the pool. I know up there it says 22.5 million, but last Monday, City Council looked at the plan again, and we decided that it's actually going to have to be 26 million to have the pool that we think the community would enjoy and want, and that includes a lazy river. That includes a slide for kids. It includes a lap pool area. It's actually two pools in one. There's a 4-lane lap pool, as well as a separate pool with the lazy river, a therapy area, as well as a free swim area. If you're familiar with lazy rivers, it's great cardio if you go against the stream, or you can just float with it. But this will be a year-round facility. It's too expensive to run a pool just in the summer. If any of you have a backyard pool, you know what we're talking about. So, plus, people like to swim all year. So why not have an all-year pool? And that's something we've never had in Southfield. We're expanding our senior recreational activities. We're going to take part of the offices out of Parks and Rec and turn that into a senior lounge on the first floor. And then the Marcotte Room, which is below the pavilion, that area will become a senior-only space. This is something that's going to be happening in the future and sort of in the next year. We're working on the funding for that. We have a new promenade out front, and people have asked, well, why did we have to have that? Well, we have a lot of events on the front lawn, and one of the things that, and some of you probably know what I'm talking about, when you walk on grass, sometimes things are unsteady, and so we needed an area that so we didn't have people tripping or falling to hold events. We also we have a lot of clay out front, and our lawn doesn't always drain well. So, for instance, if you were out there today, you're probably a little squish. This has become a great feature for us. And of course, road work is always, we never have enough money. It's become so expensive. If you do blacktop, it's almost as expensive as concrete now. Blacktop is an oil-based product, asphalt, and concrete is now over $1 million for 1 lane mile. So it's very frustrating, I think, to the council and myself. We get these complaints all the time. Well, my street's a mess, and we don't want it to be a mess, and if we had the money, it would be fixed by now. We are working diligently. We've spent in the last, since I've been mayor, we've spent about $200 million on local streets, and we still have neighborhoods we haven't touched. And you can see this year we're spending about $25 million, and at least one thing that we're doing is we're doing it smart. We're doing water mains, gas lines, all of the utilities at the same time that the road is being done. You don't want to go through and pave a street and then 6 months later you're digging it up because you got a water main to replace. So it's a very coordinated effort. One of our appearance issues, we have neighborhood fences along mile roads that the city put in years ago. They were really at the end of their life. They were falling apart, falling down. And I appreciate the people that were experiencing these dilapidated fences in their backyard for their patience, but this has really cleaned up our mile roads, and again, with council approval, we were able to get those installed this year. We're also working on lighting, very, very important. If you lived off of Civic Center Drive, we put in a pathway there. People love to walk, but all of those antiquated light fixtures, they date back 50 years or more. Again, they don't make the parts for them anymore. They weren't working. It was dark. And so we now have a whole new path. The paths are lit between Lasher Road and Telegraph. We keep working on sustainability, and we have all of you seen the bags that we have? I'm going to ask my assistant, Vicki Perry, in the back, would you mind going up to, I meant to bring these down, our recycled bags. Yeah, they're in the office, if you don't mind. Thank you. As you know, thank you, Janelle. And it's part of our 50th anniversary, our 250th anniversary of the country, so the new bags are out. We're pushing sustainability. We're trying to reduce the amount of things that go in landfills. This is for our own health. It's also for future generations. As a society, we're a consumer society. We use a lot, and we also throw a lot away. And that applies to food. There's a tremendous amount of food that goes in landfills. And so we're trying to divert that by instead recycling it. So to set an example, I was a little leery about this. I signed up for it. And for a while, I left it in the garage. You get this little canister. I thought, well, this is going to smell, isn't it? I mean, food rots after a while. And it doesn't smell. I have it in the kitchen, under the kitchen counter. But you have to empty it frequently because the liners are recyclable liners, and they will decompose, as I found out the first time I picked one up, and everything went on the kitchen floor. Anyhow, it's a great program, and we have a couple thousand people here now participating in it, and we encourage this. So moving on to our partnerships. We hear a lot about the deer, and so I'm not going to talk about it too much other than we did a pilot this year. 70 white-tailed deer were removed. The deer were dressed, and as you can see, it provided 9,200 meals. This is a program that we deemed it successful. Even so, somebody said, well, it's only 70 deer. There are probably 70 deers in a square mile in Southfield, and in some places there probably are. This was a pilot. We intentionally kept it small. We did golf courses and nature preserves. So next year we will expand this. Interestingly, Southfield, Farmington, and Farmington Hills jumped in and to do this pilot, and now Franklin and Beverly Hills and a couple of Livonia are saying, well, the world didn't come to an end when Southfield did this. I think one of the two biggest concerns for me, whether you don't think we should be doing deer calls, two concerns. One is that we have 2 deer car accidents a week, and some of them can be really, besides injurious to a car, very to the occupants of the car. I've seen some terrible accidents. Secondly, when we look at our nature preserves, they've eaten the understory. The bucks in the fall are rubbing their horns, and so they're gouging the young trees and killing them. And then they've eaten all the saplings. So for instance, in Carpenter Lake, we now have all of these invasives, including this Japanese barberry, that are taking up space where the new forest growth should be. Plus, they eat the blossoms of wildflowers. And so consequently, the wildflowers don't go to seed because the blossoms have been eaten. I just had them on my patio eating my geranium blossoms. They don't like the leaves because they smell, but at any rate. So these are factors to consider. We have great partnership with Oakland County Parks and Recreation, and consequently, they've invested $9.3 million in 2 Southfield parks, $6 million in the Beechwoods Oak. Our picnic shelters are very high demand, and so we have a new picnic shelter and another. There are now 3 children's playscapes at Beechwoods. And we're encouraging people to get out and walk, so there's a walking trail. And this trail will connect to the 9 line, which I'll talk about in a moment, or already connects to the 9 line. So then in Catalpa Park, here's another $3 million, and this is under construction now. Another picnic shelter, new soccer fields with AstroTurf. Catalpa Park had a lot of drainage issues, so they're addressing that, and then they've improved the walking loop around the park. It's a little crazy to me, but it just tells you how much things cost. We've had 2 fatalities on 9 Mile near Providence Hospital. People crossing the street for parking or the bus stop. And consequently, there is a lot of traffic there. And so Oakland County Transit gave us a grant for $420,000 to put in a crosswalk with the lights where you can stop traffic to get people across the street. But again, this is what these things cost. So we're very grateful for this, but we're all dealing with inflation. So I'll leave it at that. Another great partnership, we have a wonderful town ground relationship with Lawrence Tech, and the Lawrence Tech girls softball team or women's softball team didn't have a local place. They were going somewhere else. And so we've redone our ball field out behind the swimming pool. And it's now got AstroTurf in the infield, new dugouts, scoreboard. So it's a real upgrade plus lights. And the beauty of this is women's softball season is February, March, and April. Our Parks and Rec softball league is April through the fall. So Lawrence Tech has helped to pay for this, and we appreciate that, but we all get a much better facility, and it just, the way it works out with LTU season and Southfield season. So it's a great partnership. And then something that our Congresswoman, Rashida Tlaib, has worked on for us. We do have an aging community. We want people to age in place, stay in their homes as long as possible. But we know that it becomes harder as people get up in age to maintain the house, to maintain the yard. So that's one of the reasons why in the fall we do our Big Rake program, and we do Rock the Block with Habitat for Humanity. So this program is now it's a $3.1 million grant that we got from the federal government, thanks to Congresswoman Tlaib. And this will be for home repairs. It'll be administered by the city, but the work will be done with our partnership with Habitat for Humanity. So it is income, there are income stipulations for this program, but again, we should be up and running in the fall. But this is something we've worked on with the Congresswoman. Speaking of Habitat for Humanity, Oakland County, we've had an 11-year partnership with them. They've done I think we're about 20 new houses, and then a rehab of about 100. And many of the people that get in the Habitat homes, they're not given away. Habitat is a hand up, not a handout. So they have to put equity into it. They also have to go through Habitat's financial literacy program. They have to get a mortgage. But these are affordable homes. City Council agreed that we would change zoning and allow on these large lots that are in some areas of Southfield, that we would allow duplex housing, affordable housing. So here we're breaking ground for another one, and this is what it'll look like. It's been a great partnership, and again, our Rock the Block program with Habitat as well. Then we're speaking of housing. Again, I'm a big believer in adaptive reuse. So we don't need all the schools that the community has. So we've 2 school projects are underway right now. One is the John Gray School on Indian Street in Southfield near 8 Mile and Inkster. This school has been closed for a number of years. The city was using it for various purposes and no longer needed it. So now it's becoming subsidized senior housing. We run, the Southfield Nonprofit Neighborhood Corporation runs McDonald Tower, River Park Place, and Woodbridge. It's a 508 units of subsidized senior housing. The majority of clients are older females, as women live longer. And they have to be making less than $28,500 a year. We have a waiting list. We know there's a need. So this will be it's under construction now. It'll be 60 more units of subsidized senior housing, taking advantage of a building that had served its purpose, so we're finding a new use for it. And part of the building will still be open to the community. The gym and the kindergarten room will be community spaces. Almost finished with construction is our Wellspring project. This is housing for people who are in recovery. Recovery either from alcohol or other substance abuse. This program is court administered. These people, the people that will live here with their families, are sober. But as you may know, if you've had a friend or family member that has suffered from addiction, most insurance companies give you 30 days. Doesn't work. 30 days in rehab does not work. It takes longer than that, especially if you're on something like OxyContin that's been prescribed legally and you got hooked on that. It takes longer to rewire a person. So people in this program it's supervised. There's a curfew, 10 o'clock at night. They can go out to work. They can also have their family living there. But this is 72 units of housing on Hooper Street off of Berg Road. And as it says, this builds hope, stability, and opportunity for families that need it most. So it's what we call recovery housing. And they're apartments. Anyhow, this is a $33 million project. It took us 7 years to get the money together for this. And this is very typical. The John Grace program, school, that took over 5 years to get the money together for that. You have to have diligence and persistence to build what's called the financial stack. Moving on, one of the economic development initiatives that, again, all done with donated funds, the intersection of 8 Mile and Greenfield, there's been a lot of redevelopment in the area. Those of us that have lived here a long time know that back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, Northland and the environment around it was the place. And as more and more shopping centers and development spread, Northland lost its luster, really starting about 25 years ago. And so it's being redeveloped, it's being reborn, adaptive reuse. So one of the things that we want to do is change how people perceive that intersection. There's been a tremendous amount of development at Oak Park. There's been renewal of buildings below 8 Mile on Greenfield in Detroit. And so consequently, we're doing this underlighting project. It'll be the second one in Michigan, and it'll just give a new look to the intersection. No tax dollars are being spent on this. This is, we got a patronicity grant where you donate, and then the Economic Development Corporation, plus we had a number of businesses in the area donate to this project. And again, it's to change the perception of 8 Mile and Greenfield. Moving on to progress, we are so happy that Henry Ford Health System has come to Southfield. We're working well with the new administration of Henry Ford Health Providence. Matter of fact, met with them yesterday. Again, Shayna Johnson is the president of regional president for the South. I think it's Southwest region, so it includes Bloomfield, West Bloomfield, Novi, Southfield hospitals. But again, they're doing an analysis of everything that the hospital is doing, and as well as their facilities. I think we're going to see some real advancements with the new health system. We've seen a number of new, despite the economy and we're working hard to fill vacant office spaces. So these professional services, Arch Environmental, Gresham Smith, have moved their offices to Southfield. The property across the street got a huge boost for its redevelopment with a $138 million transitional brownfield grant, transformational brownfield grant. I know there's controversy about data centers, but the thing to keep in mind is that data centers are everywhere. Southfield has 10. This is our 11th. They're not the mega centers that you hear all of the concern expressed about. And the word up there is infrastructure. This is infrastructure. And as I say many times, 30 years ago when cell towers started going up here, people, oh, cell towers, they're going to cause cancer. Nobody is giving up their cell phone. And all of us, when we go online, we want instant recovery of information. Where does that come from? It comes from the cloud. It comes from data centers. There's a small data center in this facility to run all of our city operations. Many of the larger companies have their own data center. Data centers are not to be feared. They are, whether we like it or not, we are now in a technological age. And so they are part of how we exist, how we do business, how we run our lives. We've had a number of other companies come. This is Viotus, a German automotive. They wanted to be in Southfield. They wanted to be near Lawrence Tech. They wanted to be around the other automotive-related companies that we have in this city. This is a real coup for us, too. Methode, 80 years in Chicago. This is a top-of-the-line lighting company, high-tech lighting. You can see the various products that they have. They pulled up stakes totally, left Chicago, and came to Southfield, Michigan. And we are thrilled to have them here. Again, taking vacant office space. Hard to rent building. This building is, this is the loop to get onto 8 Mile. This is Telegraph going to 8 Mile over here. It's a terrible place for regular retail. Perfect for Mr. Hicks's storage of his many cars. Are you using this? Okay. Corvette owners don't keep their vets on the street in the winter. Oh, Bron Johnson's here, right, Bron? What do? You find a place to store them. Well, we don't want you storing them in your driveway. We don't like all that, those extra cars. So anyhow, this company is expanding. They are in Woodward, in Birmingham, Royal Oak, so they're here. Ducati motorcycles has come to Detroit. They didn't go to Detroit. They came to Southfield. They're on South Telegraph, and we have another auto sales place that came. These are some of the automotive companies that are here or came this year or expanded this year. And again, we don't have Ford, GM, or Stellantis, but we have a host of other auto-related companies. They want to be in Southfield. They want to be near one another. So that's a plus for us. We have in general business, we've had a number of new developments, and you may not know, but the city has an art requirement. We're interested in placemaking. We're interested in not just a bland building. Do something with it. Make it more interesting. So our art requirement, when you build something new or do a heavy renovation, you have to add an art piece. So I don't know if you've seen this on Northwestern Highway, but when you look one way, it says Southfield. When you look the other way, it has that pattern. Very inventive. And our art requirement is very broad. So we're going to, shortly I'm going to show you another one that is really ingenious. We had the ribbon cutting on Saturday for El Car Wash. This isn't your father's car wash. This is high-tech. They even wipe it dry as your car goes through. And there are all these flashing lights, and it's an incredible experience. I think they're still doing free car washes this month. Of course, they want you to sign up for their monthly plan, but it's a great addition to the city, but it's also cleaned up that corner of 12 Mile and Northwestern, which had vacant buildings, some dated, and there had been a dry cleaner there, so there had to be some environmental cleanup as well. So all of that has been improved. Salon suites at the Southfield Plaza opened. We're getting a Genesis credit union. They're expanding. They're in Troy, Royal Oak, and several other places around. The Arby's closed on Southfield Road, about Southfield 12.5 Mile. And so that building will be coming down, and Genesis Credit Union. The Eagle Landscaping has expanded on 8 Mile. This is a phenomenal company that has been in Southfield for, I think, around 75 years or so. It's the generations of I think they're on their third generation now. Anyhow, they've taken more space on 8 Mile, but they don't have to do all of this, but they've cleaned it up, made it look more presentable. We always appreciate businesses and landlords that go that extra mile. So we're very, very pleased with Eagle Landscape and Supply. And if you need anything in the way of yard, everything from sod to soil to flagstones, they've got it all. Several new clothing places. We have Cornerstone Plaza with Five Below, Ross for Less, Burlington Coat, and then 10 Mile and Southfield designer menswear. I don't know, what do you think about my choice of, no? I don't know. Anyhow, you want a little style, a little flash, design menswear. We've had, this isn't all of them, but we've had an expansion in our culinary offerings. Particularly this Indian cuisine on Telegraph. Culver's, everybody wanted Culver's. They had a number of engineering problems on 12.5 and Southfield Road. It's been a huge success. And so they're building a second. It's under construction now at Telegraph, just above 12 Mile. And down from there, not listed here, the Panda Express opened, another food choice. And then we have a Savvy Sliders. This is on 12 Mile. And then the Bros Fish and Chicken down on 8 Mile near Inkster. This is a very unique, great place for coffee. This is Armenian pastries. It's at 12 Mile and, Evergreen rather, Greenfield and Edwards, which is above 1 block north of 12 Mile. The Palu Cafe. Great place if you want to, it's spacious, if you want to come in for coffee and with your laptop or meet up with somebody, and very interesting pastries. Adaptive reuse. Again, we have too much office space. So these two towers out on 11 Mile in Inkster are being, work is going on there right now. 307 units will be developed out of these two office towers. Fortunately, we've had a good landlord here who has kept the buildings in shape. They were not vandalized, even though they were vacant for years. And again, this particular complex is going to have quite a bit of tenant amenities, including, you can barely see it, but back here is covered parking. There's a parking structure, as well as the first floor and the lower level have all these amenities that the office complex had. So there'll be a spa and community room, and they're talking about a cafe and other things. So Deerbrook condominiums are coming along at 9 Mile and Lasher. Again, this has taken years. It's again financing, interest rates. We struggle. Every developer is struggling with that, and inflation. But these are perfect for people who want to downsize and not have the big house anymore, but they have first floor masters. A couple of years ago, it was called the Sapphire, and had some very bad headlines. Well, it was sold. The new owners have done a tremendous amount of renovation. The buildings are filling back up again, and it's back now to the classy name that it was when it opened in 1967, North Park Towers. Once the home of Diana Ross. And then another project, this one is actually behind the Palu Cafe, which I just talked about. The Edwards Avenue Apartments, 32 units. As you drive around Southfield, we have a lot of parking. We have too much parking. And when you have all this hard surfaces, when we have these rain events, then you're having to deal with stormwater runoff. So we have reduced our parking requirements, but also we're finding use for what was parking spaces. The new foster care, if you were here a year ago, you know that they were going to take the Plaza Hotel at Northland. Well, they've decided to pivot from that, and they've taken another vacant property, the Embassy Suites, up on Franklin Road near Northwestern and 696. And this will be 175 units for youth that have aged out of foster care. It's a voluntary program, but it provides all kinds of support for young people so that we don't see the repeat of the foster care cycle. The statistics are not good for kids that age out of foster care and have no safety net. And history kind of repeats itself with early pregnancies and jail or drugs or that syndrome. So while we support, the city of Southfield supports the mission of new foster care. And there'll be more on this as time goes by. Groceries are always a concern. We hear from people, we want more grocery options. Well, By the way, I'll make a plug for Tiger Market. That opened a couple of years ago, but if you haven't been there, it's Asian food. There's a lot of Asian food, but there's also everyday stuff that I shopped there over the weekend. There's you know, staples, anything you need. They have. It's a great market, but we have a new Aldi at Southfield Plaza. That's 12 and a half in Southfield Road, and you may recognize this building. This was the former Huntington Bank at 12 Mile and Evergreen. It's now going to be the mini market. It's a meat market. Some of you may know it from Detroit. They're not closing their Detroit location, but they're opening this one here. It's quality meat, and it's a great addition to our city. That'll be opening probably sometime in '27. Then you may remember the fire at the Plum Hollow Market that had been here for ages. And I can't tell you the outpouring from the community when this market burned. This was a favorite market, again, great for meats, and then their prepared foods and salads and so on. Their fish, if you went for their fish specials, their 3-day fish events. Anyhow, Plum Hollow Market is coming back, and this would be Lasher Road. This would be 9 Mile. So you would enter now, instead of in the front like before, you're going to enter from the parking lot. And we're very glad to see that this is in the building department now. So we'll be seeing this redevelopment in the year ahead. Here is another great advancement. The Capital Mortgage, after the pandemic, they had all their people working from home. They don't need this office anymore. So they've vacated the building, and it's been sold to the sheet metal workers. So this building is now becoming this with an addition. But here again, they're meeting their art requirement. They're sheet metal workers. Metal is their thing. So they are adorning the building with metal, and it's handcrafted metal. We're really, really pleased with this. This will be coming to council shortly. It's also an educational facility. We need more skilled tradespeople. And so this is an apprentice program. People that enter the program get paid. They work a couple days a week. They're in school a couple of days a week. Most of these skilled trade apprentice programs, you just pay for materials. The training is free, and plus you're an apprentice. So it's an addition to community that will help people find good paying jobs. So big news from Southfield Public Schools is that they're building the first new school since actually I think McIntyre was the last school that was built. The last major addition was to SRAC in 2004. So this is going to be the new University Academy K-12 school. It'll replace Southfield Lathrop. It will be keeping the auditorium and arts wing. All of this will be new. There'll be an entrance to help with traffic flow. There's a driveway that'll go down here and out through to Evergreen, through the former McIntyre School property. As you can see, they'll have two entrances for K6 and or K8, and then or others. I was right, K5 and then 612. Moving on, they're building a natatorium. This is a great thing for our community. The fact is that the majority of young people that drowned are brown and black. And so to teach kids how to swim and how to deal with water is extremely important. So I salute the Southfield schools for adding an aquatics center or a natatorium that I'm sure will get lots of use. And right now, the existing pool isn't working, and our swim teams are swimming out of the city. So this will happen all by 2028. One of our charter schools is also upping the game. They're at Transfiguration and Portables. They're over on 12 Mile in a rundown office building, and I think they're over on Franklin Road. Anyhow, we have too much office space. Here's an adaptive reuse of an office in a new school setting. So moving on to Northland, it's going very slowly. I know that the council and I and the city administration wish we were moving faster, but there is steady but slow progress. And by the way, if any of you are looking for a career change, there is a need for people that paint water towers. This fellow, I was over there the day he was finishing up. He scaled this thing up. He did this for a couple of weeks. First of all, he had to sandblast it to deal with the rust, and then to paint it. And then one of the things about Northland is they're keeping the original logo, the historic Northland logo with the pointing north to Northland. And so to do all this, I understand that this fellow goes around the country and paints water towers. You really got to be accustomed to height to do a job like this. But this is the lobby of a building A at Northland. We had people over touring. The model apartments are done. The elevators are in and working, and the backup for the elevators is one of the holdups. The generator for that is in. Also at Northland, the council approved a sports dome, and this they're working on this now, and it's supposed to be in place by November for winter soccer season. And there'll be a retail component to this in one of the Northland wings of the original Northland Shopping Center. Moving on to placemaking. Again, ribbon cutting. We've got funding to do Rutland's Drive and North Park Drive. And then we got a $1.1 million grant to continue the 9 line on 9 Mile Road, but now the next 2 segments are Evergreen to Southfield is being worked on now, and then we have the money now for Southfield Road to Greenfield. If you've been in Oak Park and seen what they've done a couple of years ago on 9 Mile, this 9 line goes from Hazel Park all the way to South Lyon. About 30-mile long trail that will connect eventually to the Joe Louis Greenway. It'll connect to the DeQuinder Cut. It will connect to that trail along 275 and link you to all kinds of places in northern Oakland County. And this is all being done with grant money. sometimes people ask, well, why is this being done? If you know anything about grants, you got to go where people are putting money. Somebody has a passion for this, and so consequently, you go where the money is being offered. So we've applied for this, and I don't know if any of you are bicyclists. I have a bike. I will not ride in the street. I don't have a death wish on 9 Mile. And so we're able to do the 9 line because it's an 8-foot wide trail. And the cool thing about the 9 line is we encourage people to get out and walk more, get away, get off these devices, go out and enjoy nature again. When we were all kids, remember, our parents threw us out of the house and don't come back until dinner. I mean, I never see some of the kids that live on my street. They're always inside. So we're encouraging people to get out, exercise, regardless of your age. And we have benches and trash cans and mile markers and wayfinding signage. And of course, we have bike repair stations and doggy respite stations with bones and bags. And of course, we have public art. We will have 2 trail heads. One is, this is Rutland Drive, 9 Mile. This has all been staked. It's been approved by council, and it's in partnership with OCC, which is in the back here. It's hard to see. We will be moving ahead. This is the 9 line from a couple of weeks ago, under construction along on its way to Southfield Road. We keep adding public art, and we're very pleased with this donation. A number of people, it belonged to Sun Companies, and they had it on Inkster Road, very close to their building. They're changing up the building, and so they wanted to get rid of the art. They called us in mid-March and said, "Are you interested?" I said, "Absolutely, yes, we'll take it." And then I had to check with a few people to make sure I wasn't acting alone. And they called back and said, "Well, if you're coming, you better get it because by March 31st, it's gone." So some people called me and said, "Well, I was driving on Evergreen Road one day, and the next day, this thing appeared." And some people said, "Well, what is it?" They didn't get it. Other people got it right away, said it's the coolest thing. And the people that didn't get it, I said, "I guess you were pretty good in school. You never threw a paper airplane." We're very, very pleased with this. And you can love it, you can hate it, but we're on a mission. We've done 36 public art installations since I've been mayor in the last 11 years. And we have more to come. We work with another mural was done this year. This is the art and crafts building. It's by the Miracle Field and the volleyball. This young man here, Backpack Durden, is the artist who created this. And this was paid for by the DIA and their Partners in Public Art program. And again, another donation didn't come from our taxpayers. The City Center Advisory Board, these are very popular. The butterfly wings, you can pose with this. It's outside the Public Works building and Code Enforcement building. And want to give you an update. I see some people in the room here who've contributed to our Sebastian project. We've been hit with inflation pretty badly on this project. We budgeted $1.5 million for it, and we've nearly raised $1.5 million. And now we have in pricing the work, and there were a few things that honestly we didn't know. How how much a crane rental will cost, and how long we'd have to have the rental for. So we are in need of several $100,000 more for this. We are going ahead with it. We've had a lot of people who invested in this. This is all being done with donations and grants and people who love art, and this is part of the 9 line. This project will be 98 feet tall. You will see it up and down Northwestern Highway. You'll see it up and down Southfield Freeway. You will see it up and down 9 Mile. It will be lit, and it's by a world-renowned sculptor, and this will be our signature piece for the city of Southfield. His name is Sebastian. He resides in Mexico City and has work all over the place, especially if you've been to San Antonio, Texas. Some really beautiful pieces there. We continue, and it's when you've been through our lobby, you know, every quarter we do an art show. We've hosted over 200 artists. 3 or 4 of the pieces in the lobby have been sold. This particular show will come down by July 1st, and then we will have next month another showing of another group of artists. This has been a huge hit, and it makes our lobby really, really interesting, so we're very pleased. I want to say that we're getting recognition for what we're doing. People are noticing. One of the things that, for instance, in our art ordinance, we're having more and more new companies or new buildings. They want to do their own art piece. But also, there's a real estate group called they do a Metro Marbles, and what they do is they attract people to the Detroit area from out of state. It's a relocation, and they look to promoting communities. So we are being promoted by them, and last fall we received their Metro Marbles award for most livable cities, and it was based on our parks, our green spaces, our public arts, our trail, our environmental planning, and all the things that we're doing in placemaking. Again, in the 50s and 60s, when this city was growing, the civil engineers of the day, their mind was on moving traffic as quickly as possible. We were in the automobile age. That's why we have neighborhoods with no sidewalks. We had the drive-ins. You were going to get in your car and go everywhere. And we are working to soften that edge. Cars are not going away, but we want to be more pedestrian-friendly. We want to have our public spaces that we all share more interesting. And so that's why we are committed to public art and to placemaking, and people are noticing. So I'm concluding on that note. Again, people, policy, projects, partnerships, and progress in placemaking. We've had a great year in Southfield. I thank our council and our administration and all the people that work here because we have a great team, and we're not perfect, but great things are happening, and we've really had a very good year this past year. So with that, I want to thank you all for being here this evening. It's always a pleasure for me to share on behalf of the council and administration all of the things that we're working on and the progress. And I want you all to know that your city is in good hands, that you have people that are working to improve it and keep it a great place to live. So again, thank you.